one of the things that has struck me as odd, in a way, about the president in the last couple of years or so, is that when I was writing some of the essays that appear in Scribble Scribble, for example, about George Bush, about the last president, I was saying that one of the problems he has, and it may not be a problem, maybe Obama's administration is a classic case of having too much history in the head, really. I say this mindful that yesterday was the 150th anniversary of the attack on Fort Sumter, and Obama has this kind of Abraham Lincoln thing, probably in excess. Well, one of the things I was saying about George Bush was that he lives in a kind of timeless present, that, you know, that there is not much in a way of historical anchorage except pulling out the inevitable cliche about resisting the aggressors of the 1930s. History has taught us that Saddam Hussein is just like Adolf Hitler, but with slightly different style of moustache and that sort of thing. So I thought, well, Obama, you know, massively super saturated in history, to the point where the speech at the inauguration was a kind of procession of historical scenarios delivered before us, you know, ending up with the not enormously cheerful sight of George Washington looking gloomily at the ice floes on the Delaware. You know, was somebody who would constantly have sort of history in mind. And indeed, some of the most eloquent speeches, you know, that he'd made. I mean, the Oslo speech, actually, was a case in point where he ran through, without sounding too pedantic, almost an entire history of the theory of the just war. It was rather masterfully done. Cairo made sure to, you know, invoke the tradition of expansive Islamic learning in the medieval Arab universities. And there was a Wall Street speech, I seem to remember, in the spring of 2008, 3 years ago, which actually extremely accurately represented the alternative views of Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton about whether or not agriculture or commerce expansively thought to include manufacture, should ultimately have a priority or would be the leading force in the economic nature of the American future. So there's, you know, Obama, the history professor. But the oddity now seems to me that the point at which we've got to, so I'm off my digression as far as I can tell, without being sufficiently caffeinated, the point that we've got to today, everybody, is that it seems to me that we are desperately in need of a thoughtful debate about the first principles on which legitimate American government is constituted. What is American government for?